So I'm here with Off-Grid Adventure. What do you call this?
A Toyota Sienna No Build Minivan camper.
There you go. And he's going to take us a walk through, and we're going to take a look at this, and come join us.
Hey guys, I'm from the channel Off-Grid Adventure that focuses on no build minivan camper conversion, portable solar power, power stations, and other kind of off-grid stuff. And in today's video, I'm here with Jamie from the channel Lower Michigan Adventures, and we're going to do a quick walkthrough of my no build minivan camper conversion.
Yes. Let's take a quick walkthrough and look at your minivan conversion.
I'm going to show you guys something I normally don't show in my videos, and the reason is I've been on the road for about 2 months now, and this van is an absolute mess. And so this is kind of my my space where I keep stuff that I don't, want seen when I am filming videos, such as my extra bag with stuff in it, and then I also have a little camera bag here with a camera and batteries in it. Just like Jamie here, I do YouTube, and so I try to keep the passenger compartment of the van, clutter-free while we're making videos.
Right.
Also in here, I don't really have much else related to camping or minivan camping. I do, however, have some jumper cables and a little spare tire or tire repair kit that I would need in case of emergency. And in fact, I have that there for an upcoming video that I'm working on. So not much to see there, but I wanted to show that because I never ever show that in any of my videos. That's an exclusive here to the Lower.
That's an exclusive. Wow. All right.
Yeah. And before we go in, I'll tell you a little bit about the van. This is a 2014 Toyota Sienna LE minivan, so one of the bottom of the line with specs. And then I've had it since it was almost new for about 8 years now. So 2014. I bought it in 2016 with 20,000 miles on it, and it currently has 96,000 miles on it, which those have, what's that?
You've been driving.
I've been driving, and in fact, this morning we talked about it, and I thought I had 90. I didn't realize those other 6,000 miles had gone by so fast.
Right, they add up.
It is a front-wheel drive minivan, so only the front wheels turn. It's not all-wheel drive, so occasionally...
Which, when I seen you do your loop up in the upper part of Michigan and you hit some of them back trails, off-gridding it, yep. I about was like, oh my God, I hope you don't get stuck.
So it's definitely something that's always on the back of my mind while I'm out traveling is, do I need to upgrade to a four-wheel drive or something like that?
Right.
Before we go inside also, I did recently upgrade to a little more aggressive tire.
Right.
But I really haven't had the opportunity to put those to the test in the mud or off-road terrain or anything like that. So this area right here hasn't been seen really that frequently in public either, because this is actually a shoe rack that I picked up from Walmart.
Right. And
I've kind of converted it into a little kitchen area.
Right.
Now this thing is bungeed to this front seat, so it's not gonna, it's not, bolted down, but it's not gonna go anywhere.
You like your coffee maker, don't you?
Oh yeah, coffee. I do all kinds of coffee stuff. And so in my kitchen area here, I have this little mini stove. This is a dash stove.
Right.
I've slowly evolved from a really small dash stove, which was too small to really satisfy my hunger. So then I upgraded to this toaster oven that will cook a meal perfectly.
Right.
I also have this Keurig coffee maker. It's pretty quick and easy. It runs off my power station that we'll show in a minute here. And then in this shoe rack here, I have, just some random stuff. This little coffee maker, I love this. I haven't been using it lately because there's a recall on this valve. And so I do have a replacement valve, and shortly here I will replace that so I can start using it again. I also have a little mosquito
bug
candle
control.
Yeah, so citronella, I think.
Right.
And then I have a little spotlight sometimes when I'm filming at night.
Right.
I need that to just get the shot to even be illuminated. Then over here I have I carry some extra pots and pans for the stove.
Oh, you got everything for cooking.
Yep, coffee,
oil, coffee.
Garlic, which everybody loves, oil. I even have some instant coffee in case I just need a quick coffee.
Right.
And then I have these little
I love McCafe.
Keurig. And so this it's a little dirty here. Obviously I clean it before I use it.
Right.
But this is the correct size for this coffee. So this little scoop, 2 of those for 8 ounces of coffee, and that's a perfect mix.
Right.
And then, you know, as I go further down here, these little baskets are perfect, except for they're a little fragile, and so I might end up just completely removing. You see where that broke right there?
Right.
Besides that, they work really good.
Right.
The bungee cord keeps them in there. Then over here I have just some more I have a fire extinguisher, which I keep in there, but I used to keep it here. And the problem with the fire extinguisher is it kept sliding out and I would lose it. So now I know where it is. It's not in the best place, but it is there.
Right.
Another little camp kettle. And then, excuse me. So this is by no means perfect, but for me it's perfect. There's my coffee cup I use for when I drink coffee.
Right.
It's metal because I have broken some ceramic or others. I have broken some other coffee makers. And then here I have another little pot, and I like this pot because it came with 2 of these little bowls and a little like camp utensil. So a lot of times that'll help me out in a bind. And you started those amazing fires earlier, but you know, I resort to modern technology frequently with my fires. So not super complicated there.
Right.
So moving over in the kitchen from kind of the cooking area, I also have the refrigerator here. This is an EcoFlow Glacier. It does have an ice maker built in. I can make ice in there. I don't really use it that often because I keep food and drinks in the refrigerator and they're already cold as it is. So,
right.
So if I was gonna get another refrigerator like this, I wouldn't opt for the ice maker.
Now, how many days can you run that off of your?
So I'm completely off-grid,
right.
power independent. So this refrigerator runs 24/7. I can use all of my cooking appliances whenever I want. And maybe if the sun doesn't shine for 3 or 4 days, I'll start to worry about running out of power.
Oh, wow.
So this power station, so we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Before I move back to the power station, I do keep this CO monitor, and I think it's time for a new battery or possibly replacement.
Right.
I saw it flash in there. And I keep this, so the battery's about half-life. I keep this because I do a lot of minivan camping, and if ever a fire breaks out, this might be the first notification I get in the middle of the night. So I have the fire extinguisher right there. I have the CO, the carbon monoxide monitor, and one of the things that I don't want to say it worries me or keeps me up at night, but safety is one of the #1 things. And I'll say this just like I say in every video where I talk about this. I never sleep with the vehicle running because that's not safe. Carbon monoxide can rapidly build up around a vehicle like this, and you read about it all the time where unfortunate events occur with people sleeping in their vehicle. So if it's too hot, I will pull out these shades, these window screens, and roll down my front windows. This little fan here will keep me cool from about 78 degrees down, cool enough that I'm comfortable. I've also tried all of the major small air conditioner devices, and those work great if they're blowing directly on you, but they also use a lot of power. So I'll move in. I normally don't wear my shoes in the van because I like to keep my little carpet here nice and clean. But we're in here now, and Jamie and I here are filming a video together. I'm recharging my phone and my microphones on this EcoFlow River 2 Pro. I do have 2 power stations that are the energy for my No Build Minivan camper conversion. This one is charged by the vehicle's 12-volt outlet, and I use it only for recharging my computer, cameras, lights, things like that. This one is charged exclusively from the solar panel on the roof of my vehicle. I have a 180 watt Bouge RV, I think it's a 9BB solar panel. And this is the EcoFlow Delta 2 Max. This thing, like I said, will run my fridge and appliances for several days without needing to be recharged.
Wow.
I do try to keep it topped off, and in days where there's not a lot of light, I can have some problems with running out of power, but it takes several days. And even then, if I really need to, I can use this one to add power back to that one and then recharge this one through the vehicle. And so I essentially have never run out of power since I upgraded from the smaller 500 watt hour power stations.
Pretty cool.
So it's pretty much independent.
And you got a nice little fan right there.
Yep, so that fan is USB-C rechargeable, and it has a little battery pack built into the back. So I just hit that button and it's on.
Right.
And that's plenty of breeze. Even right now, it's a little warm today.
Right.
That breeze feels cool. And then I plug this in the front and I set it on the floor, and it'll charge, you know, throughout the day. So,
right.
So this lasts me more than one night, and I charge it every day. So I essentially never run out of power with this fan. So that's a really good fan. Some of my sleeping gear is in my backpack because we have been hiking today.
Right.
So I usually use a sleeping bag. Sometimes I'll use a blanket that I have back here. So I have this heated blanket, and that goes back to the idea of not cooling or heating the entire van. If I'm sleeping in the van and it's cold, the heated blanket will provide enough heat to keep me warm and comfortable throughout the night.
Right.
While the rest of the van gets into whatever the sub-freezing temperatures.
So my question would be, what is the longest stretch that you've spent in this van at one time?
So 3 months is the longest stretch I spent in the van, and that was when I first started out back in California. So when I first encountered this concept of minivan camping, it was because in California there are a lot of folks at the time, and I'm sure it's still that way now, that lived in their vehicle. My rent was $4,000 a month.
That's crazy.
And so that 3 months I saved about $12,000 just by not paying rent and utilizing the resources around me.
Right.
And by no means was that something I was forced to do or anything. So I was fortunate to be able to make that decision on my own.
Right.
But it was well worth it. And at the time, the van that you see now, this same van, the gear inside was completely different. So I had a smaller fridge, I had a smaller battery, I had all different propane stoves and stuff. And over the years I've upgraded. As part of being a YouTuber, I do get a lot of this stuff for video review. And the things you see in here are the things that I've stuck with. So
right.
So some of the stuff comes and goes, and it's not necessarily the best gear, or it's hard to explain.
Right.
The stuff in here is the stuff that I personally use regularly, if that makes sense. So yeah, going back to the bed, I've got that heated blanket, very comfortable plush pillow right there. And then I keep this one just to maybe put under my knee if I'm sleeping on my side or something like that.
Right.
And this is a Zinus, so I'm trying to remember the name of the brand here, but this is a Zinus narrow twin bed frame, and it is a steel bed frame. It's very solid.
Right.
And this is a 6-inch tri-fold memory foam mattress.
So is it pretty comfortable?
It is extremely comfortable. However, if it's freezing outside, it does get hard.
Oh, wow.
And so once your body warms it up, it'll like start to get soft again. But it will be, I'm not saying it's like rock hard, but it is harder than, like right now, it's very comfortable. You know, it's firm and plush. So it's very comfortable. Okay. So when I do my camping, sometimes I do stealth camping, but...
Oh, you're a stealth camper?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Almost exclusively when I do that.
Right.
And in fact, even if I'm at like a dispersed campsite or a state campground or something like that, I will always put up my privacy curtains,
right,
just to give myself, you know, a little bit of privacy so I can sit
right
in here, work on my video or whatever. And so I have privacy shades where this back half of the van is essentially blocked off from the outside. But the last time I went dispersed camping, the place was so nice that I didn't feel the need to put the curtains up. And when I woke up, it was a really good, really nice experience. So I have that. I have this little curtain that I hang. It's a curtain rod.
Right.
And it just goes right across the front of the pillars. You can see where the plastic meets the roof liner.
Right.
And I just hang it right there.
And it blocks off the front.
And it blocks off the front, yep.
Right. Gives you a little bit of privacy back here. And these windows are a little bit tinted then, aren't they?
Yeah, it's the factory tint. I think it's like 30% maybe. Right. And I rarely open these, but if I need a little bit of air, I can open these to get a cross breeze. There's just a couple of mosquitoes out today, but today would be a great day to have all the windows down and open. And as we go do our hike later, you know, let the vehicle maintain a cool temperature. But I think that's for the most part it. I mentioned, so I do have oatmeal. I have random stuff scattered throughout the van. Right. So like every little nook here, for example, I have like a 12 volt outlet extension for some reason if I need to run something outside of the van, like even if I wanted to set up my fridge at like a campsite or something. Right. I have that. I have other random chargers. Right. Cables, and then all of my storage essentially is back here. I do have, so I'm on the third row seat right now. Right. The other part of the third row seat is under there, and my plan in the next year or so is to gut the van, take all of this railing, the carpeting, and that third row seat out, increase the storage space, and put like a wooden floor down. Right. And if I do that, I feel like that will give me the ideal amount of space. So. And it'll be more homely. It'll be more homely. Yeah, so this is nothing fancy. It's not homemade. It's not, so that's the whole theme of having a no-build minivan camper is simplicity. Simple, plain. I can swap stuff out if something doesn't work. I can just, if I go wood is more permanent because if I start cutting, you know, plywood and changing things, then it changed the whole outlook of the van. And let's take a little look at this panel up here. Kind of neat. So I met Jamie by doing some research recently for my plans for this weekend. I was gonna go to a lighthouse a couple hours north of here, and I came across Jamie's channel, and out of the blue I said, hey, if he's been here recently, he might be able to give me some tips on what the best things to do in this area are. And pretty quickly we were on a video call discussing plans to do a big hike today. And so I'm really glad that I met you, and I appreciate you giving me a chance to highlight my van on your channel. Right. And my channel is Off Grid Adventure, and I'm so glad to be on Lower Michigan Adventures channel to present my no build minivan camper conversion. And that's pretty cool. And I ended up talking you into coming down here to check out this area because I thought there was some pretty interesting stuff down here for you to check out. Guys, thanks for joining us with Off Grid Adventure and his no build minivan conversion. Till next time, cut.